trip to Cal and then ACC starts. Coming out of exams, did you see today what you hoped to see?
Yeah, I didn't think we were very solid early. We were sluggish in terms of just running our offense with pace. I mean, defensively we were okay, but I didn't like what I saw, but I like how they responded in the second half. Went inside a little more, did what we needed to do. They struggled to shoot the ball. That was the one thing with Robert Morris. They've had a hard time at the free throw line and shooting, and that I think plagued them today. But I just wanted the guys to play regardless of the score, get good experience for Ty and Kyle and Mamadi and all the guys. So we know now, obviously, it'll be a real – I'm glad we're going to Cal for London's sake. Jack's family will be there as well. But I think the competition will step up from here on out, and we'll have to be ready.
Could you speak to Jack's development as an offensive player and his teammates' trust in him offensively?
He's worked, when you have this long break, there's certain things you can really almost do individual skill development. We do it all the time, but we really have been working with Jack, and Jack's such a diligent worker on, just kind of power moves and finishing in close, and obviously we had a height advantage, but it was nice to see him put some of those in and was sure-handed when we threw it to him on the high-lows or offensive rebounds. Couple of, I don't know if he had a post move in there, but he had a good week of practice that way too. I noticed that when he goes against Jay or Mamadi, when he has to go against shot blockers, he did a good job this week of finishing some post moves and in close ones, which we've had some trouble. So interior scoring for us, we talked about that, is important. And I liked what I saw. I want to see him get on the glass and rebound. I think that's the next step for him because he works so hard. But I think there's going to be some big athletic players we're going against, and the defensive rebounding will be crucial.
Tony, Mamadi picked up his fourth foul there kind of late in the second half, and you sat him down, kind of laid into him a little bit, it looked like. What did you say to him, and then you put him right back in?
Yeah, no, I thought he was playing a little more with his hands than his feet. He was behind the play. He just wasn't I just want him to be a little more focused and alert because I know we're going to need all these guys. And a couple times he picked up some fouls, whether it was a not being ready on a defensive out-of-bounds play, and I could go down the list. And I just was challenging him to be more engaged, locked in, alert. Not a lack of effort or anything. It was just a little bit behind. And, I could see a number of plays that would have ended in dunks, easy shots, baskets against, conference play that kind of concerned me. And I wanted to try to make it a teaching point with a little bit of emphasis at that time.
Tony, Devin's kind of been up and down this season. What you like about the spark he gave you in that first half? Not a lot of guys were playing consistently.
Yeah.
He came up with 11 and really led that charge.
Got to the free throw line. We were laboring to score. We went with a 4-guard lineup, and I thought that opened up the court. Devin had a couple aggressive drives. London got to the rim. Darius kind of threw in that circus shot, but I thought Devin's always an intense player and he's physical. So I'm glad to see him have a little success, either a drive and a finish or make a three and get to the line because he's been having a little trouble percentage-wise finishing some shots. So I thought that was good, and I thought his physicality and his intensity was needed. I think there's certain guys you look at and you just see they're laying it out in the line and playing hard, and you can always see that in Devin and Zay. Other guys, their exterior's a little more calm or cool, and you don't see it as much, but with Dev, it's contagious, and I thought a couple buckets he got and some hard rebounds was really good for us, and the 4-guard lineup gave us a nice lift.
Tony, do you think Ty is looking more comfortable? He had 6 assists, and how do you see him helping you going forward?
Yeah, I think, again, we've got 10 guys, and I think they'll all help us at different times. He's such a clever passer. You can see that. And he's good size and rugged. I played him at the end of the West Virginia game because I liked his ball handling, his decision-making. Thought he slid pretty well today. I think there'll definitely be opportunities. And I didn't put him in that early rotation right away, but I like his vision. You always have to be ready with him because he sees things. He's similar to London in that regard that are just happening and gets us easy buckets that way. He's real good off that baseline curl screen.
You mentioned speaking to Mamadi as he came off, but it looked like you were talking to a lot of guys for longer periods of time than maybe you do during some games. Is that because this is kind of the last game before some tests, or just didn't see
I
things
mean,
that you liked, or-
I just there's some opportunities there. If I either saw some things. I mean, I heard. I think one of the it might have been London was. I thought Jared could have had a couple rebounds, and he didn't go after him. We gave up some offensive rebounds, and I heard London say, "We're gonna need him. We got to get this right, and we're gonna need Ty. We're gonna need Jared. We're gonna need Momedy. We're gonna need all these guys. They're all gonna play, and they can't. We've got to kind of shrink our lapses. So when there's things that I saw, I let them know. I said, forget the score, play, and if we get split on a ball screen, you don't go for a rebound, that won't fly. Next game, you're not going to have a 30-point cushion. You guys got to get comfortable with the fact if we're playing well, we'll probably be in a lot of close games. And then those out-of-bounds defensive plays, defensive rebounds, sureness with the pass, all those things, they're significant.
Tony, you have a bunch of guys that have shown the ability to score, but nobody's done it terribly consistently yet. How much easier would it be maybe for you if you had a couple of 13-point a game guys and just, surround them with other guys that contribute?
Yeah. That's not who we are right now. So we just have to take what we have, and guys can get it going. You can see Kyle can get it going. Mariel was obviously cold today. He can get some buckets off the dribble, but we just got to find ways to manufacture that. We do not have a guy say he's going to get you 20 tonight or 15 or 18. But the balance, I think, is good, and that's what's different about this team. And I think as the competition increases, we'll learn a lot more, continue to learn more about ourselves.
Two more, Andrew, then Jeff.
Tony, you mentioned in the opening about going to Cal and good for London.
Yeah.
Can you kind of walk us through how this game came about?
Sure.
I know it was a 2-game series, a home
Yeah.
and home, but how important was it to get a game for London? I know not in L.A., but still a
Yeah,
chance
we
for
tried.
guys to-
We run it. Whether it was we tried to get him in L.A. That didn't work. I remember when we took Joe Harris back and we played Oregon and then Seattle, and we always, if it's a player lives a long way away, we try to get him close to their home so family can come. And I think he's got obviously a lot of requests for tickets, but I think it's terrific. And Jack Salt's family, I think his whole family will be flying from New Zealand to come and watch him play. So that's as close as we can get for Jack, unless we take a foreign tour, which I've done that in the past with my guy from Australia at Washington State. But I think it's really good. And we always try to do that. It's not the most convenient, but it'll be a high-quality game. I remember our game here last year, and I've been in that gym many times, and I believe it's a sellout, and it'll be a loud, active crowd.
A lot of guys made the extra pass today. Is unselfishness like that contagious? Do you think?
The one thing about this team is they're not a selfish team in any way. I've talked about their unity. They share the ball, and defensively, I think they know they have to probably come a little more in that way and help each other out that way. But this team's unselfishness or their unity is different than a lot of teams I've coached. Not that I've had selfish teams, but this team, it's really significant. And I told them that matters, and you're going to have to parlay that into quality basketball. And not every team can capture it like they do. They really, and maybe that's why Hank, the scoring is there. It's just doesn't matter who it is. Guys will move the ball when they're open, and we'll have to play it that way. But I think we have to take that into the defensive side and not get cracked. I said that you can't, when it gets tough, stay unified in your play and obviously off the court.